Hello, Bác Long. How you doing today?
Hey, hi John, how are you doing? I'm doing fine.
That's very nice to hear. Um, Today I am interviewing you for Mr. Austin's class about the Vietnam War.
Okay, John, I I'm glad that to help you with that. Okay, go ahead to ask me what you need to know.
Um, so can you tell me your experience during the Vietnam War?
Oh yes, the Vietnam War. When I was born, the war in Vietnam has been going on already, and on the children, we are not allowed to go to school when we get to 5 or 6 years old because the water condition. Some of us have to wait until 8 or 9 years old to start the first grade, and some of us we have to finish one grade in 2 years, or some of them have to take about 3 years to finish one grade. And I finished my high school when I was 18 years old. And like on other children, when we finish high school, we have to join military right away because of the war condition. That war, that's about the North Vietnam and fight against the South Vietnamese people. The North was backed by the communist country like Russia and China. The South, we are backed by the United States. And the war experience that really, really terrible and very, very scary. Like every war, no, every war is very, very. I don't have enough word to tell you how scary it is, because you can see dead people every day. You can see the wounded people every day. See the people crying every day. But you have to be part of it because you are the people during that time and you grown up by that time. You have no choice. Like me, when I finish high school, I have to join military right away to do that stuff that I don't like it, but I have to do it. Okay, and what else do you want to hear about, to know about?
Approximately how old were you when the war ended?
Oh, I joined military when I finished high school when I was 18 years old, and the war ended when I was 26 years old. That's in 1975. Because the war ended because the North people took over the South. Because the South, we were supported by United States, and all the American people, they stopped supporting us. We don't have enough resource to fight against the North. So we had to, something like we can say that we had to surrender. And they took over the South. We are the loser, John.
um, when war ended, were you still in the military?
Excuse me?
Um, when you were 26, were you still in the military?
Yeah, I was in military for 5.5 years. And that time I was a lieutenant in the South Vietnamese army.
You were a lieutenant?
Yes, I was a lieutenant.
Oh.
That's why when the North took over the South, they put me in jail for 2 years
Why?
because on the South Vietnamese military, we were their enemy because we fought against them. When they took over, they are the winner. We are the loser, so they put us in the jail. But luckily, because the lieutenant, so they put me in jail only for 2 years. Some friend of mine, they stay in the jail for about 10 years, 15 years. According to what we did in military, what the rank we got, and what work we do in military. Some work they think that is dangerous for them. They put us in jail for longer.
Oh.
But
So
they didn't call that a jail. They called that a re-education camp. But the condition on re-education camp, it works a lot worse than a jail.
was it very terrifying?
Very, very, very. In there, they made us work really hard, but we never have enough food to eat. Even though some food after working hour for them, we try to grow in some vegetable, and we make it something with all the food our relative or our family member bring to us. We're not allowed to eat on weekend. The food that we make and the vegetable we growing by ourselves, they still give us a portion. Just give us a couple of pounds a day. That's it. We cannot eat on we want. They tell us what to do. They give us what to eat.
Is this from the government?
Because, yeah, beyond the people who work for the South Vietnamese government.
Can you describe the government? Like, were they a good leader or a bad leader?
Say that again, please.
Was the government a good leader or a bad leader?
I don't hear you clearly.
Was the government good or bad?
Oh, the government, that is definitely, I belong to the South. I think and I believe that the South government is good. The North belong to the communists. That we don't like it, but the North people like them. I don't know why. That is just like the Vietnam War, just almost like a civil war.
So, what was there freedom, like during the war?
Oh, during the war, no freedom at all, John. You cannot do what you want. During that war, whatever you do, even though like a traveling, you still have to ask for permission from the local government. You cannot go anywhere you want. No freedom at all.
They tell you can't go anywhere because like they need you for military.
They need you, but if you are the people they own the people, they don't need you, but you go anywhere, you have to ask for permission because there's somewhere you are not allowed to go into. because the Vietnam War, like I said, like a civil war. Vietnamese people fight against the Vietnamese people. We don't know who is our enemy. Sometimes your enemy, the people who work for the North, still be able to surround you. Sometimes they eat the same restaurant with you, but you don't know until they put the gun on your head. You know that is them. And if you go to the battlefield, you know who are they. But at home, at the market, you cannot tell who is he at the market or at some like some party or something like that. You cannot tell who are who. You cannot tell they are the communists or they are not until they tell you who they are.
So you cannot trust anyone.
No, you don't trust anybody. Yeah.
Let's see. After the war ended, what happened next?
Oh, after the war ended, like I just mentioned a little while ago, the North Vietnamese people, they win that war. They put on of us, the people who work for the South Vietnamese government, in the jail. According to the rank and the job you did, they will put you in the jail for couple years, couple months, couple years, or several years, or sometimes 10, 15 years. And some of us, when they release us, they still put us like in probation. We have to see the police or see the communist government every month or every week. Sometimes according to how they tell you what to do, you have to do whatever they tell you what to do. After the war, no more war, but the people still living in a terrible time because they think all the South people are their enemy. So they just keep an eye on it. We cannot do anything. Like me, after they release me from the jail, when I go home, I am not allowed to have any job at all. Just asking some people I know of, do some errand thing to get a little bit money for food and then that for living. They are not allowed us to have some real job. No real job for us at all.
Why would, if you don't get a real job, but how does it help them if you don't get real jobs?
They don't care. They don't care about us. They just care for their people. They are the people belong to them, like the communist people. They take care of them. They give them a job, and they allow them to have a job. But for us, they don't care whatever you do, and if you don't have a food to eat, they don't care either.
So the way North Vietnam treat you as a slave?
And worse than slave.
Worse?
Yes.
If you can you describe?
Like I mentioned earlier, in the re-education camp, they make us work really, really hard. Sometimes, many times, a lot of time, work 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. Sometimes some assignment they assigned to us, we cannot finish it in 20 hours, they make us work 22 or sometime 24 hours, working without sleeping until we finish that assignment. You see that terrible, John.
Man, that's sad. Your life was very hard.
Oh yeah, really.
When did you come to America?
Oh, I came over here in 1981. I fled Vietnam in April 1981, and because I was in South Vietnamese military, I asking the United States government to settle in United States, and they check my application and check my background and everything. They let me settle in United States. I was come over here in late of September 1981.
I want to reflect back when you were in high school. Was there anyone that supports the South Vietnam? Like a country, like the U.S. The U.S. supports the South Vietnam country?
So I don't get what you mean.
Did the U.S. support South Vietnam?
The U.S. United States supported the South Vietnam government.
Yes. Why did they stop?
That's on about politics. Yeah, the American people back about then. The American people, they see that, they realize that the war is very terrible. They don't want to support anymore. They don't want the American people die for that war, and they don't want the American government send the money over there anymore. That's all kind of politics, John. We really don't understand all kind of that stuff. Not really.
So, when you were still young and you were still going to school, was there like enough, do they provide you enough food and shelter and everything and water for you, for everyone?
When I was young, when I was in the school student or something, that is my parents support me. The government didn't do anything. The government just provided me a place like a school for us to go to, but all the money and the clothes and the food and everything, my family have to provide me all of that.
So, would you terrified throughout your whole life, like even while you sleep? Would you still scared, like during the war?
Oh yes, because it's like that. It's my life in the war for most of the time from I was born. The war going on already, and until 1975, the North people took over the South. During that time, the war everywhere and every day. It's really terrified. And like as you know, the war is very terrible.
Was there a reason behind this war?
Excuse me, John.
Um, what was the reason the South and the North Vietnam had a war?
Oh, yeah. That's it because I said that the North was backed by the communist country like Russia and China. The South was backed by United States, that is Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why that is two that is two things that fight it to each other on the time, John. Yeah, the communists didn't like the freedom people, the freedom, the people have a freedom, they hate us or on kind of that stuff. Because on, I don't. That's difficult to explain about that. Yeah, I not really completely understand what they mean that because the people like the communists. The communists they have their own theory and they believe that they have something they need and but they think they have a freedom enough, but for us because of the belief we believe in this way or they believe another way. I don't have enough English to explain to you all about that, John. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Um, so when you joined the military, um, what did they have you to do?
Oh, in military people, they you have to do whatever the government tell you to do. Like in there, you still have a job. Just some people they have like a mechanic, like uh, you work on the computer. You like the driver and a lot of us who has to have a gun, carry gun, and fight against other people, and some many job in military job. Yeah, many job.
So they make you join the military just does it become a mechanic, not to fight in the war?
Yeah, if you are a mechanic, no, you not directly fight during the war. You have to do in the base, just fix it on a weapon, fix a vehicle, or fix the radio or something that on the military equipment.
Were you okay with that?
Not that's okay, but not okay because of that. Everywhere the war everywhere. Even though you're in the base, sometime the Viet Cong, that is the communist, the North Vietnamese people, they launch a rocket, they fight, they shoot some rocket into your base. Just so you will never feel safer everywhere. So that's the on where you feel like a war like everywhere. Even though you're in the base.
What do you think? How did all people feel during the war?
Say it again.
How did all people feel during the war? Like, what do you think? What does your parents feel during the war, or your friends? Like, were they calm, or they were terrified?
Oh man, yeah, no, nobody like it, John. Very terrible, terrified. Yeah, the people panic all the time. Sometimes like during the day, during your lunch or during your dinner. But if you heard some loud noise, you feel really panic. Yeah, because you don't know what happened next, what's going on.
Um. Well, was there like soldiers all around?
Not on around, but still, that's a, because like you cannot have on a soldier. You don't have enough people to be on around. Just somewhere they need it, they need us around in the at the school or at the market or at the store or something that still have a lot of people, the civil people, not the military people everywhere. No, not really. The life is just like normal. However, it's just happen like when the fight begin, make the people running or the people have to find somewhere to hide. But beside that, the people still working or living the normal life, normal. But you have to be careful all the time.
Ah, I see. Well, was there a lot like I don't know what you call it, incidents like, do you see like people dying every day?
Oh yeah, in military you have the chance to see the dead people almost every day. However, that is not the dead the people you can see it, but not everywhere. But some at the battlefield or somewhere fighting again between the two sides, the north and the south side. It not happen on everywhere. That's just some places they happen to two sides see each other, so they fight together. That's where the people get died. Not everywhere, but on like that, just like the battlefield.
Mm, I
But
see.
for the military people, you see that almost every day.
Well, what do you think about Vietnam this year right now? Or did you ever come back after you leave?
Excuse me.
When you left Vietnam to the U.S.,
Hmm.
did you ever come back?
Oh yeah. After 1989, President Clinton signed a paper trying to normalize the relationship between Vietnam and the United States. Right after they signed that paper, that year, the first time I come back to visit Vietnam since 1981 until 1998, I come back to visit Vietnam the first time.
What was it like when you came back?
Oh, too much different because no more war, but they still thinking we just like their enemy. However, because of the economic, because of the politics, they let us come back, but they look at us at a different look. They still thinking we are their enemy.
Um, when you came back, was it peaceful? Like, did was there a lot of freedom?
Uh, That's difficult to tell. It's a little bit because no more war, so that make the people a little bit the living over there a little bit easier. That means you have a little bit more freedom compared to the time during the war. But talking about the freedom over there compared to United States or some Western country, I don't think we have freedom over there at all. Because when you talk, when you move, when you do something, even though you are selling something, you buying something, they still controlled by the government. That means you don't have much freedom like over here.
Are you glad? Are you in the U.S.?
Oh yeah, definitely, John.
Well, that's all the questions I have, or you have answered, and that is all I need to know. Cảm ơn bác Long.
Okay, you are very welcome, John. I hope all of that answer help you understand a little bit about the Vietnam War. Okay, John, and sorry to let you hear some bad thing like that, John.
It's okay. It was nice to hear about your life story, and I think you should write a book about yourself one day.
Thank you, John.
Well, all right.